Hello all, happy Saturday. I'm just getting my stuff all set up here. How is everybody? Hello, hello, hello. Alright, my lovelies, we're going to jump right into it because I already have. Let me get my tablet set up here. Alright, the goal is 2 books today in the same amount of time that it usually takes me 1. We shall see how that goes. Just trying to get my stuff together here. Alright. Ooh. Must have been a while since I have made a book. I've been avoiding it for a reason. Because I do not want to get distracted with the Welcome Home book. So, hello, 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 hello. I need a drink. Hold on. Alright. New book today. Or should I say new book design. And we're going to be using one that I haven't used in a very long time, paper. Because I kind of got over it last year. I made so many books with it. And that's this lovely one right here. I love this paper. And yes, I made sure I have some still available in my Etsy shop. It's gorgeous. Look at how awesome. And I'm going to be using, hold on a second, let me, let's get all better here. There we go. I'm going to be using this paper and my absolute favorite color Distress Oxide to use, and that is Seedless Preserves. It matches this paper perfectly. Perfectly. And I love it. So, this is what we're using today. Now, the design, I'm making horizontal books today instead of the vertical ones. So, let me get my stuff out. So, here's the Seedless Preserves that I'm going to be using. I just refilled the sucker, so, because it's been such a long time. And yes, you can refill these. You just got to get one of these little bad boys. Do a thing across, and that's all you have to do, and they last forever. So, don't replace these. Ever. Just refill them. I heard somebody threw one away, and I'm like, alright. So, here's the 2 books that I'm going to do today. Okay? Also, I'm using this lovely canvas paper with the rigidy edges. I think people call it like decal paper, which is really easy to do, but I like this canvas paper because it's great for mixed media stuff. As you can see, it's textured. It's super easy to use, and it works really great with the Distress Oxides. I love it. And it's kind of like a fabric-y texture. Now, this I don't need to do. And then the other book here is going to be a smaller version, and it's going to go this way. So, let me show you. I had this nifty little tool. Oh, I know where it is. I just now remembered where it was. I was sitting here looking for it for like right here. This is like an edger distresser doodad. Okay, and whenever you cut this kind of paper, of course it's going to make the straight edge again, like this. See, it's all ridgy here and there. So you just take this, and I like to put them together. It's like 2 birds, 1 stone. You just take this, go along the edge like this. And last night I was doing this, and my husband said it was snowing on our bed. And I'm like, I'm trying to get my papers ready for tomorrow. So, if you get one of these little handy tools, you can do that with it. And it works on normal paper. The thicker the paper, though, I found, the harder it is. You can also, if you don't want to get one of these, you take some recommended fabric scissors, okay? And just go like this. Like that. And you see how that's doing that? That's the look you're going for. Wipe it off, and then you got the same kind of edging. It's a paper distressor. So that's what you can do. You don't have to have one of these. They are very hard to find. So, I mean, it took me a while to find one of these, but you can find them. I recommend going on places like AliExpress and stuff like that for hard to find stuff. See, it snowed on my desk now. And it makes it easier. So, the reason why I'm going to do 2 books today is because the smaller the book for me, the quicker it is. I can make books about this size. I could probably make probably 6 in 3 hours, as opposed to a bigger book that would take me a little bit more time on live. It doesn't take me as long if I'm not on live, because I'm not stopping and answering questions and stuff like that. So we're going to use this deckled edge paper, canvas paper, and I'm not going to put any Stamperia paper in here, but I'm going to do the cover in Stamperia paper. I probably hack this word up every time I say it. I'm going to say Hortensias. I call it the hydrangea paper. That's the easiest for me. I haven't made anything with this since last year, because I made about 27 books last year out of this paper and I got tired of looking at it. So this is what we're using out of this paper and I got tired of looking at it. So this is what we're using today. It's very pretty. And then, as you can see, the seedless preserves goes perfectly with it. Are we still good? I'm frozen. Oh, there we go. I was like, oh gosh, what did I say? And so the seedless preserves, here, I'll show it to you, because I'm going to do the edging of the paper this way. And I just filled this, so let me, I don't want to get overly wound. It must have been really dry, because I haven't used it in a while. There we go. But this paper is really great because of this. Now, it absorbs like perfectly. And it's like got such a nice color with it. And if you refill your ink thingamabobbers, one thing I like to do, since this part is going to be in the spine, that's where I use that to wipe the most ink off of it, because that way it doesn't get all on the edging and it gets overly dark. But see, it absorbs so good and it doesn't rub off. So I probably won't distress them all here on live, because that's, unless everybody really likes that kind of ASMR stuff. I don't like to do ASMR stuff because it's like pins and needles on my brain. And no offense to anybody who does that kind of stuff. That's whatever floats your boat. But I personally, I don't like it. I do some ASMR videos, but when I edit them, I listen to them once just to make sure nothing crazy is happening in the background, like my husband sneezing or farting or something like that. So that's what that will look like. And then I never listen to him ever again except on mute. So this will be, see, it just goes really well with this color. It's like perfect. It's a good paper color. So usually I will distress. I love using different color distress oxides. I like the distress oxides, not the inks. There is a difference. The inks, the ones that are just distress inks, are more translucent. than the oxides. And when I use the inks, I feel like I have to use more of them to get as deeper color as the oxide. So I usually always stick with oxides because the oxides are more opaque and you don't have to use as much. So there's your little Distress Inks lesson for today. So the 2 books I'm going to make, and I'm going to give you guys the measurements here. Now, these kind of pages do not come exactly symmetrical because they are distressed on the outer edges. And because of that, I'm going to you can also take them all at once. This is usually what I do. This also will make it a little bit more even if you want more even pages. I don't have a preference, but if you do this on both sides, and get that, this side really doesn't need it. It's just the one side where it cut them in half. But they measure about 12 by 9, so they're not like a standard legals page, like normal papers that I use. So what I did was I got the covers here. This is just chipboard. I use 50 point chipboard. Sorry if I'm blowing in there. I'm just trying to get all the dust off. I use 55 point chipboard, which is 0.57. If you look up 55 point chipboard, you won't find it. I don't know why they don't put 55 point, but it works better, especially if you use these permanent tape runners here on it. It doesn't peel it back, which is what I like. So the cover is going to be like this, and if I do this again, I will probably make it just a hair not as wide this way, because I usually like my papers to kind of be more flush, but this works too. So it's going to look like this. The spine is going to go over here, so it's going to be more of a longer book this way. No, I don't. I believe that she gave up her account. I've tried to write her several times, and I think that she was getting way too bullied on her platforms, and she just wanted to find inner peace and decided not to do it anymore. So, I don't know. But she hasn't really contacted anybody about it. So, that's all I know. And everything. So, the measurements for these. So, for the first book, I had to write these down because I knew if I didn't write them down, I would forget. Alright, so this one is going to measure this is a 5x7 cover. I think 5x7. Hold on, I may have changed that before I cut it. Let me just make sure. 7. Yeah, 5x7 cover. The spine is 2x5. And this is where I'm going to put the grommets to adhere the pages. I always do it in even increments because I want my thread or embroidery floss, whatever I'm using, to be on the same side. If you have an odd number of holes, you're going to end up with thread going this way and then it ends that way, or vice versa. And these are, I always do like a 1/2 inch from the edge this way, and this is 1 inch and 1 inch, I believe. Yeah, looks like 1 inch and 1 inch from the bottom, and that is it for that one. Now the next one is going to be a little bit bigger, and the cover for this one is 8 3/4 by 6 1/2. And the spine is 2 inches by 8 3/4. And so this one is going to go like this, and the book will open this way. So it's going to be also a horizontal book, but the spine will be up here, but everything is going to be horizontal. And when you do like the spreads or anything like that, it's going to be horizontal. You're getting what? You're getting... I don't have any off spray in there. Okay. Sorry, one of my kids came in here. So that's what I'm going to try to do today. That will be the task. It shouldn't be that difficult because I don't have a whole bunch of pages and stuff to cut out. I don't print any of these pages out. So all I got to do is just figure out what we're going to do for the covers and stuff. And I'm going to have a tie closure. So let me set this. Hang on one second. Let me move all this. I'm going to set this right up here. And that was the inspiration. This is what I'm doing right here. I had a book like this. So I'm like, oh, that'll make a cute little book. I'm going to make one like that. So we're going to start with the small one first. Okay, so let me take these pages. I'm going to put them to the side. And we're going to do the covers first. And let me get my paper here. I took it out. Alright, let's see. I kind of like something along these lines. I don't mind the faces on the cover, but I kind of like them because I just think they're pretty. And I wanted to see how this would look in here, if it would fit. If her face doesn't fit, I may use it for the other one. So I don't want to cut too much of it off. But I do like the faces on there. I'm not crazy about this one. This one looks better. And I got, let's see, there's tons of like hydrangea stuff in here. Let me find the other pad. I do have 2 pads I'm working with because I am doing 2 books, even though they don't take as long to do. This one's really pretty. Let's see. I think I had another page. I don't know if I still have it in here. No, it wasn't that one. I'll give her this one page. Let's see. I don't know if this one will work. I started cutting pages out right before I went on live. So I can use, this one may work. Do it like, just put the hydrangeas on there. I always have to look and see how may end up doing it like that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it like that. And do this right here for the cover. Okay, so alright, so I usually, when I do the cover, I try to leave about 1 inch around for that to fold over. And I usually don't measure this stuff because this is really easy to eyeball it. Not everything has to be measured. I think that takes up a lot of time. So I always try to just do it like that. Alright, so I'm going to use this right here. And I do not use liquid glue on the covers part. This part, the flat part, I guess. I always use one of these. It's just a permanent double-sided tape runner. I always use this brand, AdTech, because it always works the best. It is a little bit more pricey, but I only use it for stuff like this. I very rarely use it if I do any journal spreads. Sometimes I do, but I always try to leave it for bookmaking stuff. Hey, hello, hello, hello. And I'm just gonna stick this right here. I'm gonna fold over. Find a bone fold here. I left glue on my bone fold. Let me get it off. I am very, I am not a good person when it comes to craft tools. I use them and lose them and mess them up, and then I go and I have my husband make me more, or I go and swipe some from our thing. But if you get glue on these, you can use some warm water. You don't want it to be too hot, because these are, it's not like normal plastic. It's made from plants. It's eco-friendly plastic. So there we go. Alright, so cover number 1. How are you? I hadn't used this paper in so long because I was tired of looking at it after a long time. I made I don't know, I think it was 27 books last year out of the same paper, and I was like, that's it. I don't want to look at it until 2023. And here we are. Alright, now this is where I use the good stuff right in here, and this is Crafter's Pick Ultimate Glue. I found that this works a lot better than PVA glue or Fabri-Tac or the beacons when it comes to making books. I do use the beacons on, did I just actually... Oh, I thought I hit that. On, when I put the liners in and stuff. I think Ruby just went down for her nap. Or her attempt, or we don't call it a nap anymore. We just call it quiet time, because that child has not taken a nap since she was 6 months old. And I don't know why. I've never had a child not ever take a nap. Weird. If I could sleep during the day, I would totally take a nap. Alright. So this is going to be the cover. Now, one thing I do like to do is I do like to distress the cover just a little bit. Just makes it kind of pop and kind of just lets it look a little bit different. we go. Alright, so first cover done. Alright, second cover. So this is going to be the back cover, and then we're going to do the spine, which I may do something like this right here for the spine to kind of match. Let me use this for the back cover. Actually, I kind of like this up here. I just saw the two flowers. That would be perfect. Yeah, there it is. That's what they call the money shot. There you go. Okay, leave a 1-inch border around there. Always save your scraps. You can use them for so many things. Like journal inserts, they work really well with pop-ups for journals or cards, or, you know, anytime you need to build up any kind of like foundation for whatever you're working on. Structurally wise, I guess is the way to say it. So I have a whole box down here full of scraps, and I use them occasionally. I actually am working on the Welcome Home book right now, and the next page I'm doing, I have pulled the grandfather clock. Actually, I had some scrap papers of old lace, and I was like, ooh, I'm going to use that because it has a little texture to it. And that's where I got my scraps from. So it's always good to hang on to scraps. Because you never know when you're going to use them. Now these, probably not so much. But something like this, yes, you can use that for so many things. I think my husband is outside doing something with our pool, because every time he does, there's a waterfall going down our driveway, and I just now saw that. I'm like, he's outside working on it. It's almost time to put the cover on it and say goodnight. I can't believe it's almost fall already. I think this summer went by way too quick. And we just started school this week. If you guys don't know, I homeschool my kids. My oldest daughter graduated from high school last December, early. And so she's in her 3rd semester in college and working today. And so the other ones, including Miss Ruby, have just started school this past week. So it always takes a little bit of maneuvering and getting used to, especially when you have a child who has, one of my daughters is a special needs. She has like special need educational stuff, so that makes it a little bit more difficult, but we manage. Which is nice. And my husband works from home, so whenever we're swamped or overwhelmed, or I'm like, I can't help you right now, can you go ask Daddy? As long as he's not on a meeting, he always helps, so he's very hands-on. He also grades their essays for me, because I do not like it. And I'm like, please do their essays. I don't want to. And so he grades their essays for me. That's probably my worst subject, is English literature. Sorry if you guys hear that outside. My neighbor is deciding to ride his motorcycle up and down the street. I don't know why. Alright, so this is going to be the back cover, and then I'll put my little logo thing there. So front cover, back cover. Now we're going to do the spine. And then we'll be ready to put the eyelets in the spine. And, hang on one second. Let's see, did I get that all the way down? Sometimes I don't push it all the way in or down. I just take my bone fold and go across like this, just to make sure it's good and flat and even. And I'll probably be, when this book is finished, I'm not going to add any little extra stuff to it. Not that I know of, unless I think of something after I get off live, and I'll post it to my Etsy shop. And I always have people ask me the price. I have no idea. I always add everything up before I post it. There we go. Looking good, looking good. And I got my clock right here to make sure that I'm not going over my time. Alright, so front cover, back cover. Now, there's the spine. Alright, so for the spine, I'm going to put the cover on this side so I don't have to redraw my holes. Now, I could use this right here, which would work. Ooh, please fit, please fit. No, it won't fit. Look at that. I have to have something to fold over here, but if I had enough room here, I would definitely put that there. And I like to make the spine longer on this side. See, longer this way is good, but I need it longer that way. So, let me get this one here. And I'll probably just do some of these flowers like this, and then have these. I get the butterfly in there, just like that. Uh-oh. I hear Ruby, and sounds like she's making a mess in her room. You guys will not believe what we had to do. We had to put a gate around her bed to sit there and keep her in her bed while she's having quiet time, which is supposed to be a nap. Because when she is the escape artist and gets out, and when she gets out, she likes to destroy things. So I'm like, nope, we're going to get a gate or something. And it sort of worked and it sort of didn't. Which doesn't surprise me one bit. But she does not like it. But it's good for her to have some quiet time. Of course, I run out all the time. Hey, hey, hey. How are you? I have some funny videos to send you later. Oh my gosh, I was dying this morning. I had this one I was going to send you, but it made me gag too much, so I was like, no. Ugh. It was so nasty. So I showed my husband instead, and he's like, no, no, why do you look at that stuff? No. And I was like, because I had to see it, so you do too. So, there. So I spared you. Alright. I'm going to fold these over. It's just folding it so I can make sure I get it all the way this time. So we can attach them to the covers. And then we'll put the liners in, or we're going to do the eyelets, the grommets. Eyelets are the ones without washers, and grommets are the ones with washers. So my grandmother has told me. can actually hear Ruby right now, and it sounds like she's in there just partying down. And I'm going to have to, and I think everybody else went outside. Okay, so we want to keep these flaps here. I'm going to fold these over, but I ain't going to cover up my holes there. And I'm only going to glue the top and the bottom. Yeah, exactly. I heard her in there playing the other day. She's got this Coco Melon doll, the little bald baby, and she was like putting him in her shopping buggy, and he wouldn't get in there, and she was like, honey, 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 you need to bend your legs, honey, bend your legs and put it in there. There you go, honey. And I'm just sitting there dying. And then my husband was doing something. Oh, he was talking to me or Ella or something the other day. And she was acting like she was on the phone. And she told him, and she was like, honey, honey, I'm on the phone. I need you to be quiet. And he was like, don't you tell me to be quiet, you little punk. It was hilarious. I was like, I don't know where she gets this stuff from. Me giving that look like, all right. Okay. So now the fun begins. Let me get all this little tiny scraps out of the way. Here we go. Gonna use the crocodile. All right, I want to do some colored eyelets. Now I can either do the like fuchsia looking pink, or I can do the purple. I also have white. I have a lighter purple. I have a lighter pink. And I have, where'd that go? Where'd that go? I also have a darker purple, but I don't think that looks right. I'm thinking probably that one right here. Or, oh good, I can see it now. Or this one. I think it's like one of these two right here. The one, this one? This one right here. Yeah, I think so too. I think that, oh my God. I don't know. Let me look. Either one I think would work. Not that one. Or that one. I would use, you could also use blue, but I would just say, let me get this purple out. Does that one match? Yeah, so I need 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think I'm just going to do these instead of using the grommet, because these will work. I love the color ones, and I wish the color ones came with washers more often, because man, that would be a lot easier. Alright, so we're going to make a 3/16 hole. These are not 3/16 eyelets. I believe they are 4mm eyelets. Uh-oh. I just heard Ruby's camera go off. Lord, I don't know what that child's doing. I may have to go check in her in just a second. Alright, so these are 3/16 holes, 4mm eyelets. Hold on, this one looks different. Why does it look different? Sometimes they look so similar that you can't really tell. And let me put them in first. Hold on a minute. I'm going to yell. So cover your ears if you're wearing headphones. Ruby! Leave that alone! Her little camera goes do-do-do-do when it's reset. So if I don't fuss at her, she'll keep messing with it. I don't know how she messes with it, honestly. Where'd it go? Well, there it is. Well, this purple definitely blends in. Alright, so this is what it will look like. No, 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 no. What are you doing?
What did you say?
Hey, how come you're not in your bed? Go get back in your bed.
What?
Where are your sisters at?
Oh, Ruby.
Go on. Can you close my door also?
Yeah. No. Are you on live?
Yes, I've been on live since 12. Hey, none of that. Positive vibes only, dearie. My kid, I told her yesterday, hey, I'm doing a live at 12 because I do lives on Saturday since school started. And she's like, are you on a live? Like, yeah. Okay, see, works really, really well, and that's what we're looking for. These actually are, here, let me see if I can zoom in on that. These are this is kind of what it's supposed to look like. Sorry. Let me get my finger out of the way. When you don't use the ones with the washers. And these are, we are memory keeper ones that I swiped out of my Etsy shop. So I could use them for this. They have directions on the back on how to get this good effect. But if you leave your crocodile, whether it's the hand one or this one, on A on the top with the one that has a little protruding thing sticking out, and number 2 on the bottom, they work great. It tells you to use number 1 on the bottom. Don't use number 2. Works better. Okay, so there's that. And then we have the cover, back cover. Let me make sure we got this. There we go. Alright, so this is going to go in here like this. And then we're going to use some book repair tape to put over this part right here. I usually do that part first before I do the eyelets, but I was going to end up covering up the hole, so I didn't want to do that. Let me move my paper here so I don't get any stuff on it. And then we'll do the liners, and then we'll sew in the signatures. See, when I have everything prepared, it doesn't take me that long to do one of these books. They're really easy to do. Alright, let me fold this in a little bit. And then, oh, glue holders. I've had a lot of people ask me about the double glue holders. Every time we put them in there, they sell. So my husband is making more. I think we put 6 of them in there yesterday, and they were all gone, so, and they're in rose gold. So we had to, he's making some more now. And we are also working on another holder that goes with the lipstick handles at the moment. All right. Make sure I'm squished up all the way against there. I always like to make sure before I put it, where's up there it is. Use the bone fold to move the glue and flatten it. So if you ever want to get into making any books, you don't know where to start, smaller is better to start with. It's easier, I guess, to handle. I don't know why. You know, so yeah. So it will look like this. And when let me do the other side before I put put some more glue in there. The reason why I do it like this, so it will lay flat. And that's why I came up with this book design. Let me make sure I'm not upside down, because I did that the other day and I was like, oh. And I took the book apart because I couldn't stand to look at it like that. So, my Alexa thing is going nutty again. This one has the worst problems up here. Like, we have them all over our house, and we have like the show and stuff downstairs for when I'm talking to my grandmother. I like to video chat with her, and we bought her one, and she's the only one that can call us on it. But this one goes nutty up here. Like, when we want it to work, it ignores us. And then when we don't, it doesn't ignore us. And I'm like, she's a bit moody. So, here's how the book cover will go. Just like this. And see the highlights around it. Give it just a little bit of something. It gives it a little oomph. Like that. And then I'm going to put my little thing down here. I'm also going to put a tie closure. Now, usually I would do the tie closure right here. This time, I'm going to do one that goes right around here. I may put it here at the end. And I think I got... These are the colors. I don't think that one's not going to match. So, I prefer not throwing it across my desk, but I prefer the silk because it doesn't fray at all. However, I know this one matches, and I can't find this color in silk. And, oh my gosh, see, I'm dropping. I'm just going to throw it on the floor. I know, and you're like, I was watching something the other day too, and it kept saying Alexa, and I'm like, oh great, here we go. This one won't respond to Alexa because we can change the name of them. You can say computer, you could say all kinds of stuff. I want to call it Bob, but it won't let me. It only has certain names that it will do. It's kind of annoying. Alright, so I'm going to put some, this is just book repair tape. And I'm just going to cut a bit there. And this is just an extra security blanket that I put on my books. Give it a little bit of extra stability. I have forgotten to use it, and it doesn't seem like it. Alexa? Alexa. You say, oh, wait a minute, hold on. What was it that? Alexa, play Baby Shark. Tell me if it did it. Ruby has figured out how that works, and she goes up to it, and I could sit there and say something completely clear, and that thing will not listen to me. But if I sit there, if she goes up there and she's been like, play blah, 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 and she's like playing Baby Shark on Amazon Music. And I'm like, how do you do that? You just, like, you know, spout out some dribble, and then it sits there and plays it. I sit there and I'm trying to ask the weather or something like that, and it won't even listen to me. And I don't know why. But she does. She's always like, did it play it? Oh, wait a minute. There's another one. You could also do, Alexa, play Gummy Bear. That's a funny song. Alright, the book repair tape here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the ribbon in here, and then I'm going to put the liner on. Did it play it? Oh my gosh, I got a secret weapon now. I love it. Alright, I'm going to use the beacons. I just put a brand new bottle on here, and I accidentally filled it up to the brim without even thinking about it. And when you do that, when you fill these bottles up completely, they like to gurgle. I figured this out the hard way. And when they gurgle, they'll spew out everywhere. So I had to take some of it out because I forgot. But after you get a lot of it out, let me get a baby wipe. After you get most of it out, it won't gurgle anymore, which is nice. It's just got to get used to being in a new container. It's got acetone in it. And Fabri-Tac and Beacons has acetone in it. And whenever if you take it out of its container and put it in a new container, it got a whole bunch of oxygen to it, apparently. My husband had explained this to me. And when it does that, it gurgles. Or if you leave the lid off, it's getting too much oxygen to it, and it will gurgle. And so my husband said if you leave about probably like leave about that much from the top and only fill it up to maybe like halfway to like right there, it won't gurgle. But I ended up puncturing my other bottle that I had in there, and I was like, oh no, I gotta go run and go get another bottle. Because I sell these bottles in my Etsy shop, so I had to go swipe one, or a pack of one, out of the thing. They're great bottles until you remember they're not actually for glue, and then you gotta kind of work with what you got. So that's why we have these. Where did I put it? Where did I put the little cap? I put that, oh I did. I left the cap in there. And I always leave the caps usually in my holder because I lose them too much. And I forget to put them back on, and if I forget to put them back on, then my glue will start going bad, and I don't like it. I wish that they made caps for these bottles. It'd be a lot easier. Here, let me get that. I'm starting to get glue on my hands, and you guys know how much I start panicking from that. Alright. I am going to make these a little bit longer than they're probably going to be, only because when the book's all done, then I close it and then I measure it. Alright, so I'm going to do it like that. And then... oh no, what do you guys... oh, what? You guys laughing about the gummy bear thing? Did you guys ever hear that song? Oh, I'm a gummy bear. Yes, I'm a gummy bear. My kids were playing it one time on there. This is the perfect size paper, actually, right here. Alright. I am going to make this paper after I find my cutter here. Let me see. So this cover, I believe, is the 5x7, which in the metric system thing, we don't usually use A4 and all that kind of sizes stuff. So, or at least I don't. But anyway, so it's going to be a little less than 7. It's going to be like around there. Just like that. It looks like it's probably about 5, and I usually make it it's exactly 5. Oh my goodness. I like to make it just like an 1/16 smaller, so that way you guys know what that is. Just so it doesn't stick out, because we don't really need it that big. It could actually be a lot smaller than that. I just like to make it like where it just kind of goes in, where it's about an 1/8 to 1/16 smaller than the actual size. And then the spine one will be a little bit longer. It will come out to here, but it's going to go under this part. that makes sense. It'll make sense in a minute, I promise. But this kind of follows the same design as all my other books, except we're doing it horizontally and not vertically. Let me see what I got here for paper. Alright, that one I'm going to use for that. Hang on, I don't know why I'm stuck. I had something stuck on this. Alright. Let me have this. I'm going to use this side because this side's party. I have a bunch of stuff on my bed right now, so I'm trying to... Alright, so we're going to make this about a little less than 7. I like this little writing stuff right here, so let me get rid of this. Sorry if I'm not in the camera way right now. And then I'm going to make this a little bit less than 5. Like that. So it's going to look like this. So that'll be right here like that. And you'll have a little bit of a bump right here from the ribbon. But I like to put it under there. And then I got to do one for the spine, which we can use this. And the spine is going to be a little less than 5. Wait a minute. 5 this way. I always get my directional stuff mixed up. Actually, that would be perfect. That's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Alright. And just like the spine cover, we want to make it a little bit longer so it goes across like this. Actually, I think that's a perfect square. Well, no. We're going to put it this way. So it goes across like this. Remove this one. Or not. I just did my nails yesterday and I got to get used to the different shape again. Like learning how to walk again. Alright, so it's going to go like this in here. And I usually use the crafter's pick for that. I'm going to put my bone fold. Because I like the, right here where the book creases, I just take it like this. And we're just basically scoring the page. What in the world? Oh. And I'm going to put glue right here. This is like the crack of the book, basically. And do this. I'm just going to kind of fold it over this way. And I'm going to fold it up like this. You want to kind of move it around. Now, you don't want to put it up like this and glue it, because then when you put it down, it's going to move, because that's how physics works, I guess. So you just kind of want to do this. I'm getting stuff on there from my doodad. Okay, so then I just kind of work with it, make sure there's no bubbles in it or anything like that, and that looks pretty good. Okay. Hang on a second and I'll look and see what. Oh, gummy bear, yeah. Alright, so do this. Alright, now fold this over. And then I will repunch the holes with the smaller 1/8 eyelet thingamabobber. It's kind of nice too, because when they don't have washers on them, it's more flat. So, and the extra glue on here will hold them in So if you feel like they're not in all the way, I wouldn't risk it. I would probably redo them, but these look like they adhered very well, so I'm extremely happy with it. Extremely. Okay, now I do this, and then when you go like this, it should be nice. Is that glue? No, that's not glue, that's the paper. Alright, looks good. Alright, so that's like what we want right there. So there's a bunch of layers to help make it nice and secure, but keep it flat at the same time. Oh, here we go. So this one's going to go back here. The only thing that I don't like about using ribbon is when it gets in the way when I'm trying to put, hang on a minute. I can't tell. No, this is not upside down. Just the butterfly is, but the writing and the tree are good. Yeah. And you can also distress these papers before you put them in. Make them kind of pop too if you want to. Woo! I just put brand new glue in there, and man, goodbye brain cells. That beacon stuff is strong, let me tell you. Now on here, I like to use a bone fold, go across, and that'll help get rid of any bubbles or anything like that. I never had problems with paper wrinkling, and I always have people ask me what I do to do that, and I was like, I just use a flat edge or a bone fold or something like that to keep it from doing that. I've never really had an issue with that ever. Ayo! Just hit my elbow on this thing. And you just want to make it even with the paper all the way across. So now we have the spine is in the inside, and then we have the repair tape over that, and then we have the spine inliner over that, and then we have these over that. So that helps keep it all nice and secure. They last forever. I still have people who have books from last year and they still use them today, which makes me happy, because when I first started doing this, that was always my biggest fear. I'm like, I've had nightmares about them falling apart. So then this will be the tie on here, like that. I guess I could have made them a little bit longer, but that's okay. Whatever works. So then it will tie like this, and then this is what the book will look like. And it will be horizontal looking book. So let me take this. I'm going to turn it over this way so I can re-punch these holes. Yes. And the reason why I use the 1/8 one is because it fits right in the bigger hole, the eyelet. And it looks nice and neat, and it's not like a puncture hole, puncture wound from doing that. It just keeps it all nice and handy. So there's the eyelets, and then these are the holes that we're going to put the pages through. And that is basically it. And I'll go ahead and I'll do these in the inside real quick. Just a little. I don't usually distress pages that often, so I probably would do this before I put it in there. Just like that. Okay. And put the ribbon down so I can get right here. Alright. Now we got the pages that we're going to use that are going to go in here like this. So the book, like I said, the next time I probably do one like this, I'll make it just a teeny bit shorter this way because I kind of like my pages to be almost to the edge like that, but it's going to be more in the middle. So I'm going to distress these when all finished. Alright, so this is 5 inches here. Shh, shh, shh. Boo, 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 boo. I thought you were taking a nap already.
I just said I need to.
She wants to say no.
She already said good night.
No, she didn't.
Ella.
Alright. Let's see. So this is 1 inch from the top. This is 1 inch from the bottom. This is the, wait a minute, let me find where I did the page. There you go. Zip. This is paper pad. I haven't used it in such a long time that I was like, let me go ahead and use it again. Okay, so we got, I'm going to do one sheet because I want to decide where I want to put these. And I can't use my handy dandy little markers I usually use on here for my standard books. Now, one thing, here's the easy way to do it, is wherever you want your pages to be, if they're like right here, wherever your holes are, put a mark there, right in the middle of the holes, like that. So I have a little line there. And then, get your, where's my other one? No. Is it? No. It must be this one. Yeah, either. Let me use the smaller one. Okay. Okay. So now we have one page that's already done, and this is going to be like our little template for our other pages. And that will be nice and even right there when you line up the holes, which is what we want. So let me move this out of the way. Alright, and we're going to put this one on top. Right here. This page is a little bit smaller than the rest because I made them uneven. I'm going to put this right on here. And you want to kind of keep them folded. And this will definitely not be as difficult to punch through like it usually is with the Books-Stamperia paper or the craft paper. Very easy. So there we go. Got our holes right here and right here. And we Look at them. They are right there in the middle where they need to be. Okay, so that is going to be for the back one. Here, let me put a little bit of glue right here. A little piece sticking up. There we go. I'm going to take the one in the middle here. Seedless preserved. I think it matches the best with this paper. Absolutely the best. I want to make sure that both signatures are going to be even. I'm going to use the holes from the other one. This is just another way you can do this. And you want to keep it. Here, let me change it around. I'll do it this way so I can see. Alright. That way they're even with the others also. I like this paper. I could see through it here with the light. Alright. What the heck was that? Oh, weirdos. Let me get all the little extra debris off the paper here. Okay. So, we got our holes now for our signatures. And I made this spine thick on purpose, so if you put stuff in here, there's room for it to get chunky monkey. Alright, let me get some thread here. Since we might be a good color. Either this, let me see what this looks like, because this, the only part of this that's going to show is probably in the inside. The outside, you can either use that or, let me see. I think I'm going to use pink this time. Yes, definitely pink. Alright, so the way we do this, I always like to do the back one first because it's easier. Do 1 and 2 because I go through it twice. This is just embroidery floss. I'm going to keep the needle on there because I'm going to go through it again. I don't feel like threading it through again. Go. This is what it looks like on the outside. Also on Saturdays, hang on, let me get this piece of paper out of here. I got a little piece of the, there we go, from where I hole punch the eyelet holes. Starting next Saturday, I'm going to be doing a book series every Saturday. It's going to be 25 books. You'll understand why it's 25 books. Starting next Saturday. And they're going to be a wide range of book types. But it's a series. They're all like within the same theme. Okay. First signature is in. See, it's super quick, super easy. That's why I like small books. Okay, let me make sure I got this one the right way. It shouldn't matter. Yep, definitely goes this way. Bye. Have a wonderful day. Alright. Okay, so there we go. Got a nice thick book. Okay. And let me see if I even need... I usually put some spacers in between here, and I probably will just right here in the middle, because that helps keep them straight. Hang on, let me put this here. Alright, let me cut this down. Oh, I do too. I like the pink a lot. It's more like a, it's like a fuchsia, something around that. I think it's probably about, oops, about an inch in the middle here. Perfect. There we go. Using paper spacers is really good to make your signatures not move like back and forth. You put like strips of paper in the middle right here, and you want it kind of tight so when you push it in, it's like that, like where you push it underneath. So that helps a lot. There we go. Turn it around this way. And just push it on underneath the signatures. Just like that. This will help keep them from moving. And you can also, one of the things I always like to do is put like a little quote or saying right here in the middle. So there is book number 1. And like I said, whenever you know, live, take this, do the pages like this to kind of match it, which I'll probably do that at the end. And as you can see, it's nice because the books can lay flat like this. Also, I'll get some ribbon, and I'll do that. I had some already picked out. And I may not use this because this is really stretchy. Stretchy ribbon would work well if it was going around like that. This, I don't know, should I use this, or I have just a vintagey white, and I could use the, oh there it is, the ink to give it a little bit more color. I may do that. Aw, thank you guys. Thank you, thank you. Alright, I'm gonna make this a little bit more even. Then you can use the ink here. You can just stress them. Just make them blend in just a little bit. Here, let me move this other. And this also dries clear. One reason why I like it too. And it's for everything. Let me straighten it up. Here we go. And when you open it, bone fold here. Is somebody in the shower?
Ellie,
Okay.
she mowed the yard.
Oh, already? Well, that was quick. It's one of those things, like whenever you work with ribbons or anything, but until it's dry, you got to keep moving it around, making sure wherever you put it, it's going on there the way that you want. Now, on the next one, I'm going to make this just a teeny tiny bit longer. I'm going to make them even now. There we go. Oh, bow, 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 bow. I forgot we're making a bow, not a knot. Which I am not a good bow tire with stretchy fabric. Alright, so there's the first one. So should I leave it like this, or should I distress it with the color here to kind of match? I'll let you guys decide. And then these will all be, of course, pink in here. And then I'm going to put the thing on the back. Guess what? Distress it? Okay. Easy peasy. So, there is book number 1. Alright. So, next, get the bigger one. Okay. So, yeah. Oh. Put that one up there. Alright, so this one is going to be the same concept. It's going to go this way. Well, here they are. Let me move these over. And let's find covers. Alright, these covers are 8 3/4 by something. Oh, here we go. 8 3/4 by 6 1/2. And the spine is 2 by 8 3/4. So really easy. Thank you guys. All right. I think we're going to put a face. Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to do. Face. Where to go? I need a face. A face. Sound like Mrs. Doubtfire. I don't need a hand. I need a face. Where did I put that? Oh, here it is. Let me see if this will fit. So I want to use the base on this one, and it will look like that, which I think will be super pretty. So I'm going to do that one. Let me find the other page that was like that. There it is. Use this for the cover. Use this one for the back cover. And we'll probably use this one. Oh, no, we're going to use this for the spine. Well, no, we can't use that one. That was not in a good place. I like using these too, because if you cut these out, you can make little windows and stuff out of them. I did that in a few books. I made a little window page. You can also do the same. Just takes a lot of fussy cutting. Cut all that out. Not everybody wants to do that. But it has a really cool effect when you do. Alright. Let me get my 3 papers out of here. Alright, I got to think about this for a second because it's horizontal, so I have to make sure that I keep everything horizontal. So, let's see. I need, where's that? Put this probably like that. That's why I think it's easier to just sit here and put the thing on there to measure it. Alright, let me get the, I'll get the other ones cut, so that way I don't have to move and do everything out. I think that one will be fine. I'm not going to trim off just that extra. Just fold it over. That, and then let's do the spine. The spine is going to be a little bit longer on the sides. I may do it like this, because even if I try to do the bird cage, it's going to look weird. I don't really know what the little team stuff means, but thank you guys for joining the team. But because I have no idea. So if anybody knows, you can enlighten us. Thought it was like a game or something at first. Alright, there we go. Now we can get this out of the way. I'll do the covers first. I'll do the spine. I think my thing went off. Echo. Play classic piano playlist for no station.
The playlist Solo Classical Piano on Amazon Music.
Okay, that works. I have to tell my brain that this is horizontal. This is not a vertical book, because I'll forget and I'll be like, why isn't this working? This is pretty side too. Alright, so there we go. Yeah. me make sure got it all down. Alright. Okay, I'm going to lost my little thing here. Alright. I'll pick one that Alright, there is the cover. Let me set it. I'm going to set it right here. Here is going to be the back cover. Jeremy, you want to hear something weird? I'm kind of looking forward to fall this year. Isn't that weird?
Why do you think that?
I don't know. Sweater weather. I like the hot weather, but I'm looking forward to fall. I never look forward to fall this year. Any year. 'Cause I don't like the cold weather. But this year, I don't know, I'm just, maybe it has something to do with Christmas. I don't know. Because I want to get, I think the, when I got all the Christmas stuff in, it made me want, I'm like, all right, I'm ready for Christmas, let's go. Or, and then I'm like, I'm ready to go dark. You know how I always go dark in October. As I leave all the pretty stuff behind. I'm ready to make another haunted house book. I'm ready to do really creeped out. I have a great book planned for October. And I got all my stuff for it, so I'm excited about that. And I use a lot more mixed media stuff than. Gotta have the snow, gotta have all the creepy, weird stuff. Last year, what did I do last year? Oh, I did a Coraline book, and then I did the haunted house book. And I am gonna do the Hocus Pocus book this year. I'm gonna make it as realistic as I possibly can. I like the details. And then, of course, I have the huge Christmas project. So, I probably could have got a lot of plans for projects already. It's easier to theme up, I guess, when October and fall and everything. And the handles. The hubbies love handles. I have so many that I want to do for Halloween and Christmas and stuff. And fall. What do I do with my paper towels? What did I do with my paper towels? I just lost them. Oh, there they are. Hello, hello, hello. I know. To me, it's like it's easier to do stuff. You know, not that any other time is, but it seems like the rest of the year is just kind of the same. It's like flowers or the beach or steampunk or something like that. But then, when you get the holidays rolling around, boo, that's when all my creative juices come out. That's kind of gross, but yeah. Oh, this piano song. My oldest daughter, like self-taught piano player, and she practiced a song right here like a month straight. So I heard her practicing and practicing and practicing and practicing, and then she finally got it. Alright, now let's work on the spine. And then I will let you know what the measurements are for where the eyelets are going to go. Make sure you guys hit the like heart thingamabobbers. That's what makes it go back into the was it For You page or whatever, or share the live, or however all that works. I usually watch other people's lives when I'm working and doing other things, and then if somebody talks to me, I'm like, what did you say? Because I wasn't looking at it, I'm listening to it, trying to be supportive. leave these long, and this part is the only part that's going to get glued. Jeremy, you know what time Caitlin's supposed to get off today? Oh, never mind. He's not even listening to me. Alright, let me get all these little scrap pieces here off out of the way. And then we're going to put it together. Put the eyelets in. This, well, see, I was like, oh gosh, wait a minute, what did I do? No, it goes this way. Alright. Like I said, I haven't done a book that's horizontally like this before, so this is kind of a learning experience for me too. Hello, hello, hello. What holiday? Wait a minute, when you say holiday, you mean vacation? Because when you guys say holiday, it really messes me up because we do vacation. Yeah, okay. I follow these two guys who have like a podcast, and they're like Cockney British, and they say like have like slang terms for stuff, and I'm like, I have no idea what that means, but it sounds funny. Oh, he's cracking up doing something. So where are you going this time? I'm waiting for the day that you say you're coming over here to the big pond, across the big pond to here. Oh, I love it. You better be prepared to eat all the American food. Maybe we'll go to Dollywood. I ain't never been. I've lived here in Tennessee for 20 years, and I've never been to Dollywood. I don't know. Once you are born in Florida and you go to like all the amusement parks, when you get older, you're just kind of, nah. So this is going to go like that. For some reason, Sherry, every single time I see this paper, for some reason it reminds me of you, but then I'm like, no, wait a minute. That's not the paper she always used. It was House of Roses, which is super pretty. The glue bottles I sell in my Etsy shop. They're the Sugar Bell bottles. I sell in my Etsy shop. Alright, so this is going to go like this. So it will be whoop, whoop, this way instead of this way. So the holes for this one are 1 inch, 3 inch, 4 3/4, 7 3/4. So about 2 inch apart, 2 inch apart here, and 2 3/4 here. And then 1/2 inch from here, 1/2 inch from there. You're welcome. Alright, let's make the holes here. We'll probably do the same color eyelets. We'll do the purple because that kind of matches. We'll probably do purple floss. Alright. Let's see. Let's hope I have enough. I might do maybe let me see what color it is. Or I may do the pink this time. Because I was going to do the pink last time. The magenta. What do we got? 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at these. Yeah, I'm gonna do that this time. Since we did it on the last bug, we did the purple. I don't think these are all the same color. Hold on. No, they're not. Oh, no. Hang on. Let me get all the darker ones out. Okay, there we go. That looks right. These are not the same color. That's what happens when I just throw them all in here. There we go. That one. That one. They're just a shade off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. Boo, boo, boo. Oh yeah, this matches the ink oxide here pretty good on the cover. And then we get the signatures put in. Oh, we also got to put the liners in, but before the liners, we'll put a tie closure that will go around the front horizontally. And then we'll put in the liner, sew in the signatures, Looking good. Here, I'll show you guys in a minute. Let me do the other side, because every time I turn it over and I end up showing people, I end up knocking the eyelets out. And these are eyelets because they don't have washers with them. Grommets are the ones with washers. I would use washers, but they don't come with washers. These are the We Are Memory Keeper colored eyelets that I have. And see, these work just fine. You don't need extra long ones or anything like that. That's what it's supposed to look like. You guys, whoop, there we go. See? Curls over just like that. So. And then what we'll do is once we get the liners on, we'll use the 1/8 hole punch to punch the holes back through. Alright, so the liners we have to also make horizontally so we don't mess it up, because I will. I'll end up doing that. I know I will. I'll forget. Okay, what is this? This would probably work. Do I have this up? No, I don't. But I had it upside down. We may be able to get... No, we're only going to be able to get one out there. Okay, let me look. See what else I got. I think I got another sheet of that. Actually, what I could do, okay, you take this sheet right here, and the back cover could be this. That's what we'll do. Alright, and then since the cover is 8 3/4 by, sorry, I know I'm smacking the thing up here, 8 3/4 by 9. We're gonna make it just a hair smaller, so the longer side is gonna be, no, not by 9, sorry, 8 3/4 by 6.5. So this way is 8 3/4, so I'm just gonna take some of this edging off. So here's 8 3/4. Make it a little bit less than that. Okay. Where did I just put that? Then we're gonna put back here like that, but we'll cut some of it down. Okay, well that looks good. And then we need it by, let's see, 6.5. Oh yeah, that works. So it'll be like a little memory spot in the back. I'll go like this. Alright, what did I measure this one? Okay, right about there. Make sure they're both the same, because when you put them in there, it will see a hair different. This one is like that. Go right to there. This way. I love covers too because you can put pockets in there. All kinds of goodies. Now, this paper blends in too much. Okay. Now let me get the spine. Ooh, the hair. Alright, let's see if I can trim this. If not, I'll have to do it with scissors. I think I got it. This is 6. That's right. There we go. Just gonna go like this. Yeah, that'll be good. Sorry, I'm talking to myself. Alright. So, let me find... Wait, what did I do with that ribbon? Here we go. Make sure I cut off extra this time. Ow. Oh, I hit my elbow on that thing again. All right. Oh my goodness, that's stinky. I believe I still have some in my Etsy shop. I did before I started this. So, this is what it is. I carry all the lovely Stamperia stuff that I possibly can because I love it all. This one is like, whoa, losing my papers, losing my papers. Okay, so this will be going here. I'm going to put the spine one on first. So let me turn it this way, back vertical. My desk is getting all crowded up here. Let me move some stuff out of the way here. Okay, like this. I may have to make this, I think I'm going to make it a little bit longer because I got stuff all over my hands. It's driving me crazy. I don't want those pieces to stick out at the top. I really like them to the edge, and it's gonna I know it's gonna bother me. if I don't fix it. Bother me a lot. But I'm gonna make that thing into a pocket. And that will work. 3. There you go. Oh yeah, I like that better. Much better. Okay, tape. Okay, so this is the book repair tape that we used on the last book we did earlier. Did you look at the printer and see how that, whatever, when the power went off? Huh? Yeah, I'm talking to you. The printer, did you look to see what happened with the printer last night after the power went off?
Yeah, it stopped the one that was printing glue holder.
Oh, did it?
Yep. I was getting ready to start messing with him.
Our power went off at like, I don't know, like 3 o'clock this morning. And it was like dead silent. I was fine with it. But somebody, he has a CPAP machine. And when he doesn't have a CPAP machine, he snores. And he kept, I think he kept waking himself up. And then he go, I'm like, oh my gosh. And then he woke me up. Like that. It was really intense. Okay, so I put the book repair tape down, and then I'm going to put this over it, and then the other 2 liners over that. Well, hello there. I forgot she was on the other side. The other 2 liners over that. And then what that will do is it helps kind of reinforce the spine a little bit more. Let me just straighten this paper up because I don't want it to end up being crooked. There we go. Well, that sounded lovely. I'm just using the bone fold to score these pieces right here. Kind of help folding them. Kind of getting them in all those nooks and crannies. There we go. I don't know if y'all can hear my husband, but he's just fussing at one of my kids. Alright. I hate glue on my fingers. Everybody's still cool? You still with me? Let me get a drink real quick. I need some water. Oakley dokley. Alright. So, I'm going to make this one just a hair bigger. That's going to go over there. Alright, let me take off an inch here. Use that for a spacer. There. Okay, so I'm gonna do like a half an inch. There we go. Uh-oh. What's your problem? Oh, honey, what's wrong, baby? I told you that child never takes a nap. She just lays in there, kind of stares for a while. It'd be nice if she did. Alright, 6, what is it, 6 and a half. Now I made that one a little bit, oh, here we go. There we go. That's much better. I like it like that better. Okay. Let's see. Like I said, when you do, the bigger the book, I think for some reason, longer page. Alright, so the liners are going to be like about 1/8 of an inch shorter than they were for the actual covers. There we go. Okay, so we got the cover here, got this here, get this. Oh, you know what? I almost forgot again. I don't usually distress pages, but I like to distress these before I put them in. It's a lot easier and looks more controlled. The reason why it probably pulls is because when you lay it down, it needs to be flat. And you kind of have to, yeah, scoring it does help. But when you first put it down, make sure it's completely flat. not at an L shape. I move it at an L shape after I stick it the first time, and then I lay it back down, and then I use a bone fold over it, and that helps keeping it from wrinkling. Because I would always have that problem, but the reason why is because I would put it in an L shape, like the cover up like this, and try to flatten it, and it never worked. It always ended up wrinkling. But if I lay it flat, it works. I just filled up this glue, so it is super strong smelling and stringy-lingy. Woo! Oh my gosh. I need that song. And then I got high. Na 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 na. Flipping glue, I'll tell ya. I don't know how it's legal to be that strong. Hopefully people don't figure out, you know, how strong it is, you know what I'm saying? I really don't want to have a shortage of glue. Where did my bone fold go? Oh, there it is. Another thing you can also do, the way that I have this here, if you have, like, say another piece like that, you can also do one of those little three-dimensional kind of pockets where it's kind of, you know, puckered up a little bit so you can put stuff in it, and then it kind of looks like a 3D pocket. I don't know really the technical terms for things. I make up a lot of them, so you just kind of gotta roll with me because I don't know. I'm like my grandmother. My grandmother, I say doohickey a lot. She says gidgy goo. I don't know what that is, but I'm like, the first time I heard her say it, I'm like, what the heck is a gidgy goo? It was hilarious. And she says it with such gusto, I guess, the way you say it. So, but we make up a lot of the terms. Whoops. I was sitting here looking at the comments. I'm sitting here. That ain't gonna work, is it? Yeah, if you maneuver it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, it really helps to work it in there. But also scoring it right here where the spine is, you make more of a divot there and put glue in there, and then also fold it over when you're scoring the paper on top. That helps it to know that, hey, I'm going to go in this little pit here, so it will already be formed in there. But yeah, scoring definitely helps. But yeah, I was doing it where I would lay it up this way and then flatten it, and then when I put it back down it would pull. And so I was like, okay, let me just try it flat and score it that way, and that seems to work. And it also depends on the paper. But if it's Stamperia paper, that's the way that I always do it. I have glue on my hands. This is really, really like blowing my mind here because I'm not used to doing horizontal books this way. I'm used to doing them vertically, and so I keep thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I messed them up. Let me move this, whoops, out of the way. Y'all like my little pigs. This is like the cutest little pig I've ever seen. I love little piggy figurines. I don't know why, I just think they're adorable. And I have this judgy looking hamster back here. I know you guys can't see him. I think it's a hamster. But I feel like every time I'm like, oh no, that's not right. I feel like he's stopping and eating and judging me. And if you guys follow Aisha Khan, I gave her a different one that's eating a carrot. I find all these little weird things like this, and I always end up sending them to her, to other people, like a positive potato. I don't know why, but I think they're funny, so I end up sending. I'm the one who sent her to the weird little Sphinx cat with the all of his lovelies showing. So, and she always is scared to open up the stuff because she never knows what I'm going to send. Alright, so this is how the cover is. Now I'm going to use my thingamabobber here, and I'm going to put it on 1/8, because when you turn it around like this, I actually kind of prefer, oh, where is it? There it is. You can poke the holes through the eyelet, make the nicest little holes on the other side for your signatures. I like the ribbon over there. I don't feel like it's going all the way across and getting in the way. You can also use elastic. I almost did, but I'm like, let me just use this. So there are all the holes. Lovely. I'm going to put this on the floor because I keep smacking my elbow on it. Alright, so when the signatures are in, we'll go like this, and it will tie here in the middle. See, I made this one a lot longer, a lot easier to tie. So I am not a good ribbon tire. So it'll be like this and hold the book together. So sometimes it's good to challenge yourself and try new things. Alright, so here I got my papers here, and I think I have 10 sheets in each one, each signature, 2 signatures, 10 sheets, so it'll be 20 sheets, then 40 front and back. It's a good size book. Hang on, I'm trying to get all this glue off of my fingers. It's making me a little nutty. So I'm going to take the middle one out. And I like using the papers when I don't have to cut them. When I have to cut them down, it's more work. But this, hang on, there's one. There we go. Okay, so let's see what we got here. That looks, there we go. It's going to be like my template. And it's nice because they are see-through, so I can see on this side where the pencil marks that I just made are. Exactly. My awl is making a little shadow. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, we're hanging in there. My hubby is doing better, I have to say. He had this funk and cellulitis bad on his legs. Let me move this out of the way. Bad on his leg, I should say, not legs. Leg. And it would not go away. And I'm kind of a germaphobe when it comes to stuff like that, because I know what it's from and it kind of wigs me out. And this paper is super, super, super easy to use when you can find the hole on the other side to poke it through. Because it's almost like a fabric-y kind of paper. Gotta find I keep hitting the corner of the doohickey. There we go. Alright, let me just make sure my holes are all the way through. There we go. Hitting a wall here. Oh, it would help if I actually had it lined up right. Where's this? Okay, so let me see what I got. Make this the back signature. Alright, not too. Not too shabby. Okay. I'm going to start in the back here because it works better. I don't know why it does, but it does. Make sure I put it the right way. So, I guess it anyway could actually work. And I'm going to go through twice. No, this is not. You'll have to remind me what it was because I had a lot of messages. What did you ask about the handle kits? Because I can't look on my phone right now. I'm using it. I don't remember what you asked about. No, this is not normal copy paper. This is a canvas fabric-y kind of paper that has decal edging. I usually call it decal paper because that's what it kind of is to me. That's how I distinguish it. Alright. Here we go. Which handle with the attachments? I've had quite a few people ask me about handles and attachments. I remember something about handles, but I don't remember specifically what it asked. I've slept since then. There we go. Oh, I don't know because my husband has been under the weather, and we probably, if we do any more handles, we are probably going to do new designs, not go to old ones. And I've been posting them on my Etsy shop anytime we have some. We have cats, we have lipsticks, we have, what was the other one? I posted something else. We have the steampunk ones. So we already have several already in there, and I think we have some in the nautical mood color. So we can only produce so much inventory because we don't have room for everything. And we're going to be starting fall stuff here pretty soon. I went through once. Let me see. Okay, there we go. There we go. So whatever we have will be what we have in the shop. But my husband, that's not his full-time job, so he does not want to do the handles every single day after his actual job, which I don't either. I like doing very little of those because I'm so busy with homeschooling and I have Stamperia projects and stuff that I have to do, so. But that's why they're very limited, because that's like a very part-time thing that he does. Right now we're working on glue holders because a lot of people were wanting the double things, and I just posted like 6 of them last night and they're already gone, so trying to keep up with the demand for that is tricky. And we have another holder design that we're designing with the lipsticks right now. So that's kind of what we're working on at the moment. And as soon as we make room, we can put new inventory in there. There we go. I love this paper. It's so flimsy. It's like fabric paper. Alright. Another way that you can do this, instead of doing just one, hang on, let me get the ribbon out of the way. You can also, I want to make it even with this one. Like that. You can also take it go all the way through if you can. I'm gonna do one. I don't want to mess it up, but the paper is thin enough. You can always do it all at once. Poke the hole through there. I usually like to even it up with the other signature, but I like this because it's really see-through and it helps. Alright, you stay put. There we go. But this is a good paper to use, especially the journal spreads that I do where I have a lot of mixed media stuff on it. This is one of the best papers for it. It's good absorbing paper for inks, for paints, all kinds of good goods. Alright. me move this and my C4 is wearing off. My energy drink. Well, we're almost done anyway, so I said 12 to, what was it, 12 to 3:30, and that's not too bad. 2 books in that amount of time. It's not a bad ratio at all. And like I said, after I'm done with live and all that lovely stuff, and I decide if there's anything else that I need to do with these, I will post them on Etsy. I have to get the price because this is not like my usual material I use, so I have to figure out what the price is, because this paper is a little bit more pricey than just using the brown paper that I usually use. But I like it. It's nice doing something different. And like I said, I will be doing lives on Saturdays during the school year because it's easier, and I work out during the week also every day, so that doesn't help. And I will be doing, for the next few Saturdays, I will be doing a book series, 25 books, and they will be numbered books. So next Saturday will be the first book. If for some reason we have like a family thing or something along them lines, which I'm sure we will, then I will probably either postpone that live, or I'll do it. That I'll do during the week if I have time. But I'll know ahead of time. So you don't want to miss that, because it will be super fun. And most of them will be a little bit different and a little bit the same, but I have stuff that I'm preparing. I'm going to be preparing for it. Hang on. The upcoming things. There we go. The pages were a little bit off. There we go. And I haven't even been paying attention if I went through. Yeah, I did go through twice. I was thinking about other stuff. Kind of like driving a car. I don't know if you guys space out when you drive a car, but I do. No, that's not good, but oh, thank you, Dee. That's so nice. I try my very, very best to be a good seller and treat people the way I would want to be treated, because, I know there's a lot of Etsy sellers. Oh my gosh. I don't know what possessed me, but I was on Facebook. This board right here, this is We Are Memory Keepers bookbinding board that I sell on my Etsy shop. That's what this is. I have it marked for my books on there. That's why it has little colorful stuff on there. But anywho, so I was on Facebook and I saw an ad for Etsy, and I saw something on there, and I was like, oh, what's that? Because I love to support other Etsy sellers and stuff. And it was this person who had quite a few sales. I mean, like, I don't know, like 12,000 sales or something. But the rating was like in the 3s, and I'm like, ooh. I was like, what in the world? So I started looking at the reviews, and of course the owner, whoever it was responding to him. Man, she was nasty to the people. And I was like, good grief. I could never, ever do that. Okay, let me move this stuff away. So there's the 2 signatures. It goes like this, see? I actually like it because this ratio right here compared to the last one, see? This one's a little bit farther down than I usually do. This one is like right where I would prefer it. And the reason why it looks more like a binder is because when you fill these up, they start to get like this, and like this, and like this, and like this. And so I like to leave just a little bit of room. Uh-oh. Sounds like Ruby is messing with our dog again. Poor thing. So, here's how it ties. Like that. And this is a horizontal book. So I'm going to put some ribbon here. And I'll probably do what I did on this one also. And use the ink to make it kind of mishy-match more. But this is the one I just made earlier. So not too bad. So let me even up these. And then I need to check the inside and make sure... I don't need to, let me see if I need to put spacers in between. If your signatures move around, yeah, these are moving just a little bit, so I'm going to put a piece of paper in here. I always put paper spacers in between to help, like this. This is actually, oh my gosh, that size is perfect. And my favorite thing to do is to push it in there, and it makes that noise. So let me cut this down real quick. And I found out though that they have pink ones of those boards. It's just I have to get like, I don't know, like 50 of them. And I'm like, I don't really want to buy like 50 of those things to put in my Etsy shop. These I can buy, you know, 3, and then that's fine. But 50, nah, I don't want to put that many in there. And again, you can put like a little, some words, phrases, or something like this on these spacers. And then put them in there. It looks like it goes this way. You just put a little bit of glue in there. And then you're going to snap it on down below the signatures. And then no more moving. So paper like this actually really helps. Also, if I put a what do you call this? A drawer pull ring brad in there, I like to use the paper. I'll put that in, and then these can cover it up, the brad part. So here we go. Alright, let's put, what did I do with that ribbon? Probably buried under here. Hang on, let me move this. Here we go. A nice little pile of paper over here. Oh yeah, I usually, yeah, I think I do 4 holes normally. I just make sure that it's an even number, because even means that when you go to sew it in, it will be on the same side. If you do an odd number of holes, you'll end up on one side and the other side. And that's kind of, that drives me crazy. Really drives me crazy. I'm like, no. When I first started making books, I would always do that. I'd always want to do 3 holes. And I'm like, no, this ain't gonna work. It's so weird. I just heard something move on my room. Okay, I'm just going to put some of this ribbon here, and this is one of those things you got to fiddle with also. I do this, move it around, back and forth, and then it just sticks down, and then it will be nice and flat whenever it gets settled. Let me straighten this up. And this glue dries clear, so it also helps. I got sticky on my finger. Yeah, I'm a big fan of these icing bottles, especially if you use something thick like the Crafter's Pick Ultimate glue in there. It's like, it's got a good like icing consistency, so it comes out really, really good. Make sure these don't go all crooked. And this lace is just from, I think, the Dollar Tree. Leftover lace that I have. I wish I could find this kind of lace in other colors. It'd be really nice. I have found some, but I haven't found it like a good one that's not stretchy. Alright, so the other thing that I need to do is I'm going to put my little thingamabobbers on the back of these. I'm going to let that dry real quick. I think I think I'm going to leave this one like that. I think it looks good like that. I don't know. I'm the worst tire with bows. I do not tie bows well at all. Another thing I don't do is wrap presents very well either. I hate wrapping Christmas presents. I always make my husband do it because I feel in my brain, I'm like, why put effort into something that somebody is just going to rip open? And I think that's why I'm not good at it. Alright, so let's move this out of the way. Okay, let me find the, I don't think they're in here. Well, they may be in here. Okay. I think I'm just going to go with the bronzy looking ones that are not crooked. First, oh my goodness. Ooh, that one is really crooked. Got a little warped. Or, oh, no. I want to go with these. These are like a red bronze color, and I think these will go better with these. So, yeah, do that. And I just glue them on. I don't like to screw things on there because I feel like it's, whoops. I don't want to mess up the cover. Alright, I got to find, let me find some lighter color. Actually, I'll just use some of this, I'm going to use a sheet of this stuff. And if you sell books, I always say this, but if you do sell books on Etsy or wherever, I do recommend that you brand it, so to speak, with your name or whatever, and because, you know, that's your work. I know, like last year there was some people around taking credit for other people's work. Like, they would buy other people's books and pass them off as their own. Why? I have no idea. Like, I don't know what possesses people to do things, but it's always good to put your, like, little signature on it, like handmade by so-and-so. So I got this embosser thing for, like, I don't know, like $19 off of Amazon, and I just put my logo thing on it, and when I put it in there the right way, it's called Ideal Seal, but it locks. Oh, like I said, when I put it in there, and it comes with a nice little pouch. Alright, so I'm going to use some of the seedless preserves here. Just gonna, and I use one of the flat sponges. Just kind of highlight it a little bit. There we go. Now you can kind of see the texture of the paper. It's like canvas paper. Okie dokie. So what I usually do is this right here. These on here like this. My custom logo thing, I got the embosser from Amazon. I thought you were saying this was terrible, not what other people were doing. I was like, what? It's funny. But you were saying that's terrible that people steal stuff. I got it. The white glue that I use is for all materials, and it's called Crafter's Pick Ultimate. I like it because that right there. This is a huge bottle. It's cheaper than Beacons. I use this for all of my bookmaking stuff. I like to use Beacons, but this price is like a third of the price of Beacons, and it works fantastic. See, metals, plastics, glasses, everything. So, yeah, that's why I use that. You talking about these scissors right here? I got this from AliExpress. That's where I get all my little scissors here. I have a big pair and I cannot find them at the moment, and I think I stuck them inside a box. They look like the old-timey ones where the loops are real big and it looks like, you know, something from medieval times, you know. But yeah, I get them from AliExpress. They're great. And they're so good. I was pleasantly surprised by the quality. Okay, there's number one. And especially these. These are my favorite ones to use all the time. They fit my hand perfectly. They're better than Fiskars. And since they're all metal too, they're easy to sharpen if you want. But I haven't had to sharpen them yet. Just nice. I hate having to sharpen scissors. Usually ask my husband to do it. Alright, so I'm going to put this one on the next book. And I have a lot of these journal supply stuff too saved in my link in my bio. So the stuff that I don't sell on Etsy, people can get it there too. But most of the stuff I like to sell because I don't like to refer people other stuff that I'm allowed to sell and can't sell. Like I can sell American craft stuff because I'm a distributor for them. Like We Are Memory Keepers, Heidi, I almost say Heidi Klum all the time, but Heidi Swap stuff, you know, all those. And then Stamperia. I don't know if you guys can hear my daughter. She's acting mean. She's arguing with one of my teenagers. I think I got this one on there. Alright. Hang on, let me move all this stuff out of the way. And that way I can answer any questions. Look at that. I'm ahead of schedule. 3 hours, 2 books. Boom and boom. So, I think I'm all done. Wait a minute, what the heck is going on? Oh. They finally arrested the daughter from Stampin' Up? Why? What was that? My husband and I make these And we don't make the bottles. We sell the bottles. But we make these for my Etsy shop, which you have to keep up on it because I put 6 of these on there yesterday. We sell 4 sizes. We sell a double for the small ones and a large, small combo. And then we sell the single smalls and the single larges. And every time I put them up there, they're gone. And so he's working on some now. So, and along with our other thingy. Now, what are you talking about? I'm intrigued now. What do you mean arrested the daughter from Stampin' Up? What the heck is Stampin' Up? Is that like the oh, okay. Is Stampin' Up? That sounds like stamp stuff. Is that what that is? Oh, okay. I don't think I've ever bought anything from them before. I just filled up my glue holder and my glue bottle today. 1, it's very potent. And 2, it gets kind of gurgly if you fill it up all the way. And I filled it up all the way and I turned around and I had the bottle out here and it was like this, all goopied up. And I was like, oh no, I filled it up all the way. You can't fill these up all the way. If you do, they gurgle everywhere. Especially if you don't have a lid on them. So, did her ex, was he killed because of it? Or did they stop it before it happened? Kind of crazy. Better off doing it yourself. I mean, seriously. That's stupid to try to do that to somebody. It ain't worth it. I don't know why people do crazy stuff like that. But that's insane. Nobody values human life anymore, apparently. But I hadn't heard that. But I've also been kind of under a rock here lately when it comes to news stuff. I'm just distressing the edges now of this one. I may do the other one, I don't know. I love this color though. It goes really, really well with this Stamperia pad. Very, very well. I kind of missed this pad. It was one of my favorite pads to use, and then I got over it after last year. I looked and I was like, I wonder when the last time I made something with this one was. And it was last year, and it was like 27 books I made with this one because I liked it so much, and then I got over looking at it. It's understandable. I do too. But you know what though? I would sacrifice using this again just because of this color, because I like this color a lot. I like to do different edging and distressing on papers. You know, vintage, the vintage look, well, I don't like vintage photo when it comes to the ink. It's like an orangey kind of brown, and I don't think it looks very vintagey to me. I like using walnut stain or ground espresso because I just think it looks better. And but I like to use different colors on papers and stuff. I think it looks good. It's different anyway. And sometimes doing different things is okay. speaking of which, different. I have been thinking about doing some kind of incentive thing for people, like a Patreon thing to subscribe to, where people, like with different levels of things, like where you would either get a free handle or something like that, or first dibs on new design handles that we do, or access to like classes, like online classes that I may teach. Like I teach my girls all day long every day, so just doing it for another couple of hours wouldn't be that big of a deal. I have a lot of people always ask me if I teach classes, and I don't teach this kind of stuff in classes. I teach normal subjects because I've homeschooled now for 15 plus years, I think. I'd have to think about it. I did since my oldest was like 2, and she's 17 now, but she graduated last year when she was 16. But I still teach the other 3 now. Okay, so there's that one. What do you think? Should I keep this one white? Or should I do this one too? I kind of left this one a little bare. Oh, I know. It is such a pretty color. I love it. I didn't do the ribbon on this one like I did that one. And I'm tempted. I'm getting tempted to do that. Let me check and see. Oh, God. I didn't know I made my phone crooked. There we go. Okay. Let's see. I was looking to see. Oh, good. Alright. I can do that one. I gave myself 12 to 3:30 today to do this, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do 2 books in that little bit of time. But by golly, it did it. Eek! And we did the whole entire book from scratch, cover, everything. It's a lot easier when you have pages that you don't have to do much to. So if you ever are in a pinch and you want to do like a quick gift for somebody, or you want to do a quick book for somebody, just know that you can do one in about an hour, hour and a half, as long as you got all the stuff. And it's not that bad. And oh, this replay, I always put my replays on my YouTube channel, so you can always go back and rewatch them from the beginning. You can pause it, do all that good stuff. I like to do that, so because I have a lot of people who are not in the TikTok universe on my YouTube channel and stuff. So yeah, and I have lots of replays on there, lots of different things. Like I think last Saturday I did a journal spread last Saturday, the elephant one. I was trying to avoid doing another book because I'm trying to finish the Welcome Home book, and then I'm going to be doing the, I need to finish the sunflower one. I got to finish the attic space and that one. And then I'll be getting ready for fall. I got lots of creepy books planned, so I'm ready. The only kind of books I will not do is any that have to do with Ouija boards or anything like that. Crap scares the dickens out of me. I don't mess with that kind of stuff. Hey, guess what?
What?
I'm all done and I made 2 books.
Wow.
I know.
Nice.
I know.
Is this the right color for the filing cabinet?
Is that this? Sort of. I don't know.
I think it is.
Yeah, it looks like it.
I just wanted to make sure before I printed it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
I think it has to be, but
Yeah, it should be the same. Oh, by the way, I have steampunk candles with just the handle, and I think, didn't they have the round?
are you talking to me or are you talking
I'm
online?
talking both.
I thought you said you were all done.
No, I'm all done. I am all done. I'm
Okay.
just sitting here I'm just
Well,
doing the
I'm
rest.
glad I didn't say anything inappropriate because I thought you were off of recording.
Oh, that wouldn't be the first time.
Did I say something inappropriate?
Yeah. I don't know what you said. Not like you call me like a pillow princess like you did the other day, but you weren't on live. I wasn't on live then. I seriously didn't even know what that meant. And now that I do, I think it's funny. I think I have some of these in this color and stuff because we had extra ones, and I found the bag of them, and I have been going through, and I have lots of hubby's hiccups. So as soon as I'm done with this live, I will get the price of these 2 books, and I will post them. I am not looking at your comments at the moment, so this paper, the white paper, or this paper? These are from two different places. The white paper, oh gosh, let me think. I either got from Amazon or AliExpress. I'm not entirely sure. It's called decal paper. And I know it was not cheap. Ooh, mail time. My mail lady's here, and I just packed up some orders yesterday, and that's what she's coming to do, is come and pick them up. I do pack orders on the weekend. So, even on Saturdays, well, I have orders go out on Saturdays. The rest of them I'll pack up today and tomorrow, and they will go out on Monday. I'm pretty good about sending orders out. I do not like orders waiting. That drives me crazy because it's in the back of my mind, and I feel like I can't do anything until I get those done. Because I know some people who sell stuff, and they don't ship it for like a week, and I'm like, ugh, I hate that. I hate it. Okay, I think I was trying to get any of the pages like this that I didn't snag. I either got it off of Amazon or I got it off of AliExpress. Probably cheaper on AliExpress if you get free shipping. But it's called just like white decal paper. I think they have it on Amazon too. I got it from somebody who I know makes it homemade. Now I got me thinking if I got it on... No, I didn't get it on Etsy. I know I didn't get it on Etsy. I haven't ordered anything from Etsy in a while. I do support other businesses on Etsy, especially my candles. I'll tell you, my friend Mandy, the one who's Aunt Manny's Creations, that's what my husband was coming in here and asking me about filing cabinet, because she makes those serial killer case file things, and we did a trade for them, and my husband made me a filing cabinet for it. And we weren't going to make the filing cabinet, but we've had a lot of requests for it, and I'm like, look, they ain't gonna be cheap. They're expensive because it's huge, and they take a long time to make, and people didn't seem to care. So I'll make a couple of them, and what I may do is I may also only do like a 1 drawer, and then I'll do a 2 drawer option. you know, so if people want the one drawer one, they can. And that way, you know, it won't be so expensive. And I mean, it's like a minimum, I think it was $60 to make them. And I'm like, really? Can't see anybody wanting to pay that, but, you know. But she's like, yeah, I told them and they wanted to. So I'm like, well, okay, I'll talk to my husband then, and I'll put just a couple of them on there. I try to be really fair with pricing stuff. If it was up to my husband, oh my gosh. he would charge an arm and a leg. I'm not like that. Luckily, I do all the pricing and stuff for everything. The cat handles bundle that we had, he wanted to charge like, I don't know, like $25 for them. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. And I only charged like $18.50 for it. Trust me, guys, I'm looking out for you guys. Speaking of which, I gotta have my, oh, and those of you guys who order stuff from me, if you guys get a freebie bag, my 12-year-old daughter, Lily, makes those. So, if there's something in it and you don't know what it is, just ask me. And I'll have to ask her and see what she put in there. I give her a whole bunch of stuff, and she kind of makes them all up. And it kind of keeps her a little bit busy. She has a learning disability, and that helps her to focus a little bit. And she likes to do them, so I love to, whatever helps her. Alright, I think that looks good. I don't want to overdo it because I am the queen of overdoing stuff. Trust me on that. Here, let me get that one in there. There we go. So it doesn't look bad. But yeah, oh, the steampunk handle. See, I have ADD too, so y'all have to bear with me. Decal. Hang on. I'll write it down. I usually pronounce things pretty good, but there you go. Decal. Oh yeah, I do too. I love Mandy. She gave me these, oh, these are amazing, by the way. Here she makes these, Grandma's Kitchen, and they're those wax melt. I went out, I didn't have a wax melty pot thing. Oh my gosh, but these, the Grandma's Kitchen smells like Christmas. Okay, it smells like Christmas, and I highly recommend these. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go, I have my warmer on right now. And she, like I said, she makes these, AuntManny's.com, and they smell amazing. And I'm going to write her, and I'm going to be like, hey, you know, if you ever want to send me some more of these, you can, and I'll send you some more stuff. We trade stuff all the time. Look at my lovely hands. I haven't had that happen in a long time. Usually you can tell when I've been messing with Distress Oxide because of that. Alright, so I think we got everything taken care of, but yes, I have a ton of hubby's hiccups that I have to go through, and I'll post them. If you don't know what hubby's hiccups are, they're the mess-ups. Still functional, but mess-ups. And I post them on Etsy for discounted price. Because, I mean, it's either that or they just stay in a box. I'm sorry, I have to do this. It was driving me crazy because it doesn't match the other book. And I like it. So I will get those posted. If you're not following my Etsy shop, make sure you do, because like I said, we post stuff usually daily. Sundays, usually not. That's the one days that we don't really do stuff on there. I pack orders on Sunday, but, and the Christmas stuff for Stamperia. If you are planning to get stuff for Christmas, I recommend that you get it early, because last year they ran out in September and there was no more Christmas stuff available after September, and that means I can't order anything from them. So what I got in my shop will be probably all that's in there. So just giving y'all a heads up and everything. That's why they did, well, here comes the mail lady again. That's why they let us pre-order in June for that stuff, because of that reason, because they ran out last year early, and they only manufacture so much because it's in a different country. And like I said, we are working on more glue holders. We're working on a holder that goes with the lipstick handle. That's right here. Mine's different. The other ones are red at the top. And, oh, that was the other thing. Hold on. Let me get it. I also asked my husband to make some more double daubers. If you don't know what a double dauber is, I haven't had them in a while in my Etsy shop because we've been working on other things. And this one's not finished yet. He has to put the attachment at the bottom. Our double daubers are this at the bottom. It's just not on there yet. And then the, well, oh, here we go. And then it's the finger sponge at the top. Hey, can you pass me a finger sponge? Do I have, oh, wait a minute, I got one. Here it is. These are double daubers right here. And the things are replaced. And we have some rose gold ones that we're working on. And no, they don't come off. It's just that. Any of the other bundles, we may do some more of these with the round and the finger thing that come with it. Let me see. Hold on. I got, we may do some flower pots. These are all my extra goodies. Maybe, and I've had some requests for more of the mermaid tails, so I'll be writing it all down. But these right here, we haven't sold these yet in rose gold. We've only, oh my gosh, I'm gonna dump them all out. We've only sold them, here's the other one. We've only, I just dropped all my handles on the side. We've only done them in the hypnotic color. But again, if you get a double dauber, they don't come off. Okay, the only thing that comes off is the sponge. So yes, so double daubers. And my husband was experimenting with the same as the lipstick. I have to tell you guys, the lipstick things is funny because where did I put that? This is actually a real lipstick that I have where I don't know what I did with it though. Where did I put that? Uh-oh. I hope Ruby didn't come in here and take off with it. She likes makeup a lot. Oh, here it is. The lipstick handle right here, as you can see, it's kind of bridgy. That's the actual lipstick. That is my lipstick that I based it on right there. So I'd say that's pretty good representation of that. And then my husband made a double dauber out of this black one. And I'll have more black cats. I don't know where the, oh, the cats right here. So you've seen the cats. I have them all over my desk. So, and I have a whole shelf over there. So I'm trying to, this one. Hey,
Hey,
did you fix this one? The other flower?
I don't remember. We haven't talked about that in so long.
Okay. Well, we'll look at that one then.
If there is sufficient need, we can visit it.
Okay. But these, I'll probably have some of these. So, yeah. But it did have, I think I may have one more mega bundle of this one, but it's in black. I don't know. I'll have to go and see. And everything. So, yeah. So, that's where we're at the moment. And I do have some of these. I got to go find the bag. It's kind of like a bunch of different metal colors put together and everything. So, and then it will have the bottom and I think the finger thing with it. And then I will get the prices for these and I'll post these up. I have stuff all over. Oh, fuzz stuff. So I think, and then I have to go get this one back to my husband so he can finish it, which is what he's doing over there now. But yeah, that's what the double daubers are. So if you're using them, I like using these, especially, see, I had a black one and a black one here. They're really good if you're working on a project and you're going to go back and forth from small to big and everything. So, alright guys. When we get to that one, because we can only do so many, all I can say is they would be in my Etsy shop. When they're finished, I just post them when they're done. I ship internationally for everything. Stamperia, except for paint and stuff like that, because some of that stuff is regulated. But yes, all of my stuff I always ships internationally. So when we have it, like I said, follow my Etsy shop and you'll be updated when we post other things. The replay for both of these books will be on my YouTube channel probably in a few hours, because it takes a little bit to upload from TikTok and then to upload it to YouTube. That takes a little bit of extra time, but that will be on there. So these two books right here, and then I will get the pricing for them and I will post them to Etsy here shortly, along with, I have to go through the hiccups, the hubby's hiccups, and get those on there too. Alright, well, thank you guys for joining. I appreciate it, all the likes, comments, everything like that. It was fun. I still can't believe I made 2 books in 3 hours. But, yeah, so it was fun. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will see you guys next Saturday. We will be doing a book series starting next Saturday. 25 books. So I might be able to get 2 done that day, too. So, yes, will work. Alright, you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you next week.